Hi guys, this is a reboot of episode 4 due to technical difficulties with the save file after the last episode. We've had to revert back to the start of this one. So instead of following the footsteps of the last episode in how we were working our way down here to pull out that hydrogen geyser, we're going to be focusing on maintaining the base itself and doing things a bit more organized. So I hope you enjoy. Sit back, relax and enjoy. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included. Let me just pause this for a moment just so that we can stop that printer, but I'm going to turn that off actually, so when they come in to wake up in the morning they can deal with that, because we've got 10 dupes at the moment and we need to make some serious changes to the base. So currently we're working on this liquid tepidizer. We've got stupid amount of germs down there and we need to get rid of them. Now we've had a slight update which is now allowing us to auto disinfect at certain levels. So we've got, I think it's 1 billion germs available there, so we can set this to say 200,000 germs, which is the same as what the dupes give off as they deposit a visit from the toilet. So basically they should start disinfecting everything a bit more regularly. So where we're at, we've got a little problem on food. We're a bit short on food. We've got no power. Is that set to the correct level? That is. That's perfect. We'll get on with that now. We need to get that power sorted out, because I think, yeah, we need to get something in place here. So let's just get this working now. As a matter of priority, I'm going to put in a separate works area for these guys as well, because I want to make sure that they can manage, let's do that, to breathe with everything else. Let's just drop him here for starters. We'll chuck a manual generator in, get that priority 9. Because we really do want to see how quickly we can kill off these germs, so they can get on with doing that. How about getting some work so that as soon as they come available they can just get on with digging stuff out as well. It's never a bad thing. Do all that. So we've got that ready, we've got that ready, and we can take out this as well. Yeah, so I've been doing some experiments offline on how to kill germs, and there's been 2 ways that have really been very self-explanatory. So the use of the liquid tepidizer works an absolute treat once we've got it powered up. So let's just do that, see whether we can actually get a dupe on there without having a battery, unless we actually have to build a battery. Yeah, then we need a battery, so let's drop a battery in there and get that wired up quite pronto. Would help if I set the battery to 9 as well. Okay, so that will mean that this little tepidizer will, over a relatively short period of time, produce a lot of power, or consume a lot of power, but will also kill off a lot of germs. We've got like 5.5 million in there, and if you look there, it's growing. So 5.5 million germs. Let's see what we can do once our dupe starts running on there. We need to also make some changes, because I'm wanting to expand out where we were actually working. I want to get into the area slime lung and see how I can actually deal with that. Now I know I've got some slime lung here, but I kind of don't want to start in that area. I kind of want to see about what we can do. Now, what I've seen with chlorine as well with my experiments is it absolutely brilliant at killing off surface germs. So as you see here, we've got loads of surface germs, well, all around our toilets. And there's two thoughts here. I'm thinking I can either put my toilets in a chlorine environment, because the dupes aren't actually in there for a very long time, and that will keep the surface germs quite under control. Yeah, so that's a possibility of what we can do with the chlorine. How are we doing on oxygen? Temperature, thermal. Actually, what's going on with these germs? So we were at 5.6 before. We're already down to 5.35. So even with a little bit of temperature, I mean, what's the temperature of the water? That's temperature at 46 degrees. Now we could set this actually, so let's just take this dupe down to an 8. So we don't actually have the dupe running constantly on there. Because no dupe should be going down here. Hang on, what's going on in this? We've got polluted. Let's just drop that out. Keep the fertilizer in there. And let's sweep it up. Alright, so we want to make sure that our hatches keep it on top of the polluted dirt that comes from these outhouses, which is kind of very important. Right, so we're having more germs added. So we're at 5.3. We're going up as this water deposits. So stop. Let's have a look where we're at. We're still actually going down. So even though the temperature is only about 40 odd degrees, we are killing the germs. So that's quite good, because I don't really want to have it boiling. On previous tests, it has worked where we have had the water up to about 80 degrees and it killed everything. But I don't really want to go that far at this moment. We are okay for an immune system, which is great. We're doing better for food, which is even better. I need to do something with this hatch actually, so tonight I'm going to remove a couple of tiles so we can't get over here and pinch my food. Actually, I'm going to put a ladder in now, so we can do a priority on that. So at least when he goes to sleep, like now, we can deconstruct those two and our dupes will still be able to get past, which is kind of what we need. Perfect. Right, so that's done. So he'll no longer eat our food. We can leave that for our dupes. Right, we've got our art being completed, so that will help immensely on our stress levels. We've got plenty of action going up here. I need to reconsider how we are dealing with our water. So at the moment I've put the ladder down here so that we can actually dig out a bit more of this ground. I'm actually going to put in tiles to create a basin for our clean water. Probably not that far along. I'll probably do it to here. One thing I've noticed with this update, that the actual dupes will go and work under a lot under deeper water, and they will actually work their way across areas better than they used to. So that's all good. So we're just putting in additional ladders and additional access because I want to put in a water bottling system here so that I can transfer this water over to here, and then we can ensure that we have all our water working building up in one area. So that's kind of the idea with this little plan, although I would have liked to actually got that. Do you know what? I can do that, can't I? Yeah, I can. So what I'll do, if I do that, then when I get round the back, I can actually take that down and remove this out. So that'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to dig out this section as well, but we're going to get a priority of 8 on that. I want that completed. So it looks like our dupe's doing some work over here, so he's been available to go and run the treadmill. So we were at 5.2 before, we're now up to, or down to 3.7, and at 60 odd degrees. Now I'm going to disable that building for a short spell, because I don't want to have my dupe spending hours running on it. Now actually, do you know what, I'm going to cancel that. Enable building. I'm actually going to put in a switch. That will make things a little easier, so I can access it and switch it off without having to use any dupe power. And we'll go with a thermal switch. I'll set that as a priority 9, because then we can see what sort of temperature it is around here, and then depending on that, we'll then get that tepidizer up and running. We can have a play around with that basically. So how's that Germs doing? So we're down to 2.8 million. So it won't be long now before this water has killed all surface germs, and we've dealt with that. So we're dealing with the polluted dirt via the hatch, polluted water via the liquid tepidizer, which means we've got somewhere to start depositing other toilets. So if we plumb in toilets, we can actually deposit that straight in there, and we've got a way of dealing with it. Right, what else do I want to get done? I want this built up. At the moment, this is the area where I'm going to be dropping my hatch down, so I kind of want to make sure that this is controlled. Actually, let's cancel that. Let's put in some airflow tiles, and we'll pop those like so, just so that we can close off this area, just in case it floods, because we've already got a lot of water here, and I want to transfer that whole body of water into this section. I'm going to do that first, and then they'll be able to access all this lot from below, although they won't be able to do that one. Let's put that in as well. Priority 9, so they can get all the way across. Perfect. Right. What else are we looking to do? We need to probably open up this side as well, so let's give that as a priority, because we've got some oxalite there which will be very useful. We can take out that, and we can build up our wall here, which will be good, because I want to kind of have that as my limit, although that is 3 tall. Oops, let's pause that. Who's fleeing? I've got a hatch. Oops, and you move there. Perfect. Alright, so we've got a hatch there to deal with, which is all good, and he's gone in that side, which is even better. So let's just take out those tiles. Put in a ladder here, and we can drop him down to, let's put that as a priority. So I really don't want him to be able to bury himself here, and I want him to be able to be dropped down. Because ideally these hatches they'll come over here somewhere. So there's that one tiler's sand which they can live in for a time being. Let's get that priority. Let's take that a bit further down as well. if I actually put the right priority on there would be useful. So I do want this hatch confined for a short spell to that space. Okay. Alright, so that's given us more oxygen. What's going on with our tepidizer? We're now down to just over 1 million germs, which is really, really, really good. So that works a treat. We can now remove this lot and remove that. Deconstruct all. Excellent. Prioritize those. So we've got the whole environment contained. Now, if I put in plumbing is what I want. So I can't put them there, so it has to be that level there. And the bottler. Can I rotate that? Yes, I can. Perfect. We can pop him in there. And we should have mesh tiles available. Excellent. So we can pop him under a mesh tile. And we can put in, actually... do we want gas permeable tiles there or not? No, I don't think we do. We're going to disable this. Disable... Yeah, perfect. Because although he's not sat in the water now, when I remove this, he will extend it down, and I kind of want to be able to start transferring the water from here over to here, and I want to have it at the right level, which is kind of what my plan is. Now, where's my hatch gone? Oh, he's committed suicide. Ah, flippin' heck. Oh well. Basically, by jumping over onto this, he's fallen through this this little platform, as it were, which is very, very frustrating. Alright, so we can actually move this up now to this sort of level. And put a ladder in here. And deconstruct all of those. Basically, I want to be able to have to. There we go. Straight away, he's extended it all out. Perfect. Okay, now Catelyn is probably stuck there because she can't get out. So I'm going to have to deconstruct those tiles with high priority for her to drop down and hopefully straight into the water. There we go, and she can get out. Silly why they can't actually work that out for themselves. So at least now that she can actually, we can make those, and this area will be ready to deal with. Right, what's going on with our germs? 600,000, perfect. And what about the rest of the base? Well, it's looking good. It's looking really good. I'm not fussed about the extra work that it takes to control the germs, because once the dupes get ill, then actually that's a bigger problem to deal with than to just maintain the germs as they are currently. Right, so what else we got? So they're all busy doing that. Let's dig out a bit more of there. Oxygen. Empty that oxygen. I don't want oxygen sat in any container. Yep. Perfect. We should be able to start building another floor in there as well. So that can go in there. And in there. Perfect. Right. Okay. So we've now got this set up. So we can now actually set this to receive clean water. Alright, we can set that to 8. And is it something else we need to select on here? we need to... Right, okay, we need to enable this auto bottling function. So now that will request water from this one. So that's what we need in place there. There we go. And we need to, we've got a bit of oxygen there. Let's open up that section and see if we can dig out all that. I reckon I should be able to achieve that without doing much, because that sand there will drop down. If I cancel that one, actually, that sand will drop down and it'll give them a platform to reach the rest of it, which is what I'm hoping. Perfect. So the hatch can get out. We want to sweep that area so he doesn't go and pinch everything. Ooh. Right, actually, I kind of don't want him. Don't want him being able to jump over to that, so I'm going to dig out those two tiles as well. Just so that he can't get up to there and then go and drown himself, like the other hatch did, which was very frustrating. Okay, so food is up to a decent level again. And we can reduce that down. Alright, perfect. Right. How's that water doing? Going back up towards 1 million as we put more water in, which is fine, which is what we kind of expect. We're not looking to totally eradicate the germs, although it will be nice. We just don't want to have our dupes spending too long on a treadmill to achieve that. That's kind of the thought there. So that's got no power. So if we... let's leave that on for a bit. What temperature is it here? So it's 36, so we want, if below, above, gee, let's just put it in here, if above 35 degrees. Because 35 degrees, in theory, yeah, actually maybe put that to 30 degrees. Yeah, see how that works, having it auto set without having to keep managing that. Let's reduce that down and let's put it down to a threshold of 10%. So they'll do that job and come back and deal with it. Perfect. Right, okay. What have we got going on? Algae we're okay for. How are we doing on oxygen? Oxygen. Why can I never just remember which overlay I want? It's the first one. Alright, so we are not doing very well at all on our breathable oxygen. So let's have a look at our power grid. How much have we got on here? So that's currently a maximum of 720. So let's put in another oxygen deodorizer. I'm actually going to put it over here because I'd like to ensure that the heat that it generates does not extend too far down, because these are quite sensitive. I think 26 degrees. Oh, there we go, up to 30 degrees. So that's quite warm already. So the last thing I want is those to stop growing. Yeah. Because at the moment I can switch that over to lice loaves, which will give me a better quality food, which should all be good as well. Alright, so what's that germs doing? 800,000. Excellent, excellent. Right. Okay, perfect. I want... okay. I'm going to extend this down slightly because I want to get that wall done. Actually, do you know what? Let's cancel that. I should probably... No, let's put that one in first. Should probably put airflow blocks around it because it will actually... Yeah, that's what I need to do, is airflow bricks, because we've sort of seen previously how airflow tiles do not actually break under pressure. So unless something's changed on that this time round, that will be the right call to make, because then we can just open this up and you should see a skin there, which will make things a lot easier to deal with. I'm going to take this down here. I'm not too worried about opening it up into that chlorine because I've got an idea. We've got 1,000 kilos of chlorine there. I'm wondering if I open up a whole section here, because at the moment I've got germs slowly building up on. I mean, look at that. I mean, yeah, it's going down, but it's, as we put things in there, the germs are breeding. So I'm wondering, maybe I can, if I open this section up, then what I can actually create is an area where the dupes can actually store equipment, as it were, without worrying too much about the germs. And also we've got some polluted oxygen here with so we've got no germs in here, so nothing's airborne here. That's good. That's good. So we could technically open up this here, this granite, dig all that lot out, all the way across the bottom here, after we've done our tanking of our water, and that should allow us to open up this area for chlorine, and then move all this storage down into this sort of vicinity, and have that in a chlorinated area. I think that could work quite well. Let's just get this swept priority 9. I need to get rid of all this. It could just be a case of I haven't got enough storage, which is probably more like. Let's empty all that on the floor, and it can take all. So hopefully that will now... No, let's change that to sweep only as well. So hopefully they'll take all this lot out of here and deposit it in there, which will allow me to get rid of this hatch's food source. Perfect. Right. Okay. I'm gonna... Right, what else do we need? Just thinking. So if I dig out this whole section, make sure there's no germs going to be released. But even so, it might just, yeah, I might be able to just kill off some germs. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what actually happens with that. Right. Okay. I think we'll call it a day for this episode. We seem to have got our germ population under control. We've got less than a million germs, and it's still dropping down. We've got temperature around 50 degrees. We're not using that much power. I mean, the temperature in here is, what is that? That's 36.5 degrees. So this tepidizer hasn't been on, but it's still killing those germs. And we don't need to actually keep it running constantly just to kill them out, which is good. Also, we've got a tanking solution going in place, ready, so we can rebottle the water from this side to over here. We're double skinning it with airflow tiles so that we can remove these normal tiles, which will then allow us to be able to, let's move that, put whatever water in there without worrying too much that it won't hold, because obviously the compression damage we saw previously with tiles, I'm hoping, I really am hoping now, that these airflow tiles, because they're metal, will stay up to the task, so we can get more water in there without too many problems, as it were. So that I'm really hoping for that. Let's deconstruct those actually, because I don't need those in at the moment. Perfect. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. If you've liked what you've seen, hit that subscribe, and until next time, that's Murphy out.